First, let me acknowledge this communication from you, Mr. Speaker, regarding the failure of several cabinet ministers to respond appropriately to the calls of the House. I will take it up, and I'm sure when we meet next, there'll be a record of better response. So may I take this opportunity to apologize on their behalf, and at the same time to say that I'll take up the necessary action. Now, if I go straight to the question raised by the Honorable Member Sarah Korere, I wish to respond as follows. On the first aspect, that is on the registration and presence of Kenyan citizens residing, working, studying, or operating businesses in the United Republic of Tanzania, as at 29th of October 2025, my response is as follows. I wish to state the following based on the records maintained by the Kenya High Commission in Dar es Salaam and the Kenya Consulate in Arusha, and official statistics provided by the government of Tanzania. Data from the Kenya High Commission and the Consulate. Between 2021 and October 2025, a total of 766 Kenyan citizens physically registered with the Kenya High Commission in Dar es Salaam and in the Kenya Consulate in Arusha. In addition, the mission online registration portal, which was very active between 2021 and June 2023, has so far recorded 276,186 Kenyan entries into Tanzania, covering both short-term and long-term stays. Statistics from the United Republic of Tanzania from July 2023 to June 2024 are as follows. During the reporting period, the government of Tanzania issued to Kenyan nationals the following: 448 students gratis passes, 879 work permits, 370 registered business entities owned by Kenyans, 1,806 residence permits for workers and self-employed Kenyans. This amounts to a total of 3,503 documented Kenyan citizens residing or conducting socioeconomic activities in Tanzania during the period under review. That is from the Tanzanian records. I wish to note that the observations here is that the high number of work and residence permits issued indicates growing labor mobility and expanding economic engagement by Kenyan citizens within Tanzania, presumably being driven by the free movement of people and capital in the East African community. This data shows a steady increase in cross-border economic integration consistent with the objectives and spirit of the EAC. The second aspect of her question is to do with the debts. Mr. Speaker, I wish to respond as follows. On the reported deaths of Kenyan nationals during or after the elections of 29th October 2025 and the repatriation measures taken. To date, and based on the information received from the Kenya missions in Arusha and Dar es Salaam, there has been one confirmed death of a Kenyan national linked to the unrest surrounding the 29th October 2025. The deceased, Mr. John Ogutu, a Kenyan teacher at Sky Schools in Kinondoni district, was shot dead on 29th October 2025 at approximately 7 p.m. in Goba Center, Obungo district area, Dar es Salaam. Mr. Speaker, I wish to point out that in response, the Kenya High Commission, with the support from Sky Schools, conducted visits to government hospital mortuaries in Dar es Salaam to trace and identify the remains of Mr. Ogutu. However, these efforts have so far been unsuccessful. The Kenya High Commission formally notified Tanzanian authorities through diplomatic channels and requested their assistance in locating the body. I personally wrote to the Minister for Foreign and East African Community Affairs of Tanzania to seek his urgent intervention. The Kenya High Commission remains in constant engagement with Tanzanian authorities. However, the body of the late Mr. Ogutu is yet to be traced, and we are following up accordingly. And once the body or the remains are found, the embassy shall facilitate the repatriation. The third aspect or question is to do with Kenyan-owned businesses affected by election-related violence. Mr. Speaker, I wish to respond as follows. The preliminary assessment by the Kenya High Commission and field officers indicate that no significant Kenyan-owned businesses reported incidents of damage, looting, or temporary closure during the election period. The mission has only noted an incident at the Namanga one-stop border post where a tear gas canister thrown by a Tanzanian security forces landed on the Kenyan side and struck the KRA cargo scanner area. The incident was reported through established channels, and additional security support was deployed from Kajiado. There was no major impact and no further related incident. The fourth aspect of the honorable member's question was on measures being taken to locate Kenyans who were reported missing after the elections. I wish to respond as follows. There were no reported cases of missing Kenyan nationals following the unrest associated with the general elections in the United Republic of Tanzania. However, the mission received reports of several Kenyans who had been arrested and detained in various locations across Tanzania. In response, the Kenya High Commission dispatched a team of officers to the respective police stations and immigration officers to verify the arrests, provide consular assistance, and engage local authorities. Following the intervention by the government of Kenya through the High Commission, all but 2 of the detained Kenyans have since been released. The remaining 2 individuals are Mr. Samuel Kagila and Stephen Dungu Kimani, who are currently held at Arusha Central Police Station. The mission remains actively engaged with Tanzanian authorities, and efforts are ongoing to secure their release. And the ministry has also sought assurances that the 2 Kenyans will be accorded full due process, including access to legal representation and timely production before a competent court. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Correre.